Ayan, may punang traffic. Ayan. You know, the actual concept of trip sa traffic is that you have to, we are trying to be productive during a very idle time by sa pamamaraan ng kwentuhan lang sa ibang tao habang naiipit ka sa traffic. Of course, it's traffic. Wala ka naman ibang pwedeng magawa doon. Hindi ka naman pwedeng magbasa ng balita sa cellphone mo nun because that is breaking the law essentially. So, what you can do during that time na naiipit ka lang sa biyahe is that kung may kakwentuhan ka, di kwentuhan na lang kayo tungkol sa mga ginagawa nyo sa pang-araw-araw or on any specialty that you do o yung any specialty nung kakwentuhan ko nun, i-share dun, i-share sa akin and sa inyo on that time na naiipit nga kami sa traffic, on that heavy traffic. So that's the real concept. However, since we are in this kind of situation na wala rin tayong magawa but to be stuck here at home because, well, we're under quarantine nga. So, we can apply that concept ng trip sa traffic dito sa kinalalagyan natin ngayon. So, habang hindi pa tayo makagawa ng trip sa traffic dahil hindi nga tayo pwedeng lumabas, hindi tayo pwedeng bumiyahe unless there's some very important things that we need to do. So, habang di makabiyahe, dito muna tayo. Gawin muna natin itong trip sa quarantine. So, ang tanong dito, kung sino yung magse-share. So, habang wala pa tayo ibang kausap, wala pa tayo ibang makakausap, dahil nga wala kang papayagan lumabas, for the meantime, ako muna yung magse-share, okay? So, ano yung isa-share ko? Perhaps the only thing I can share of really na magiging kapaki-pakinabang para sa inyong mga nanonood, or the thing I can share of that will be really productive or be used of para sa inyo is what I really do in the sports industry. So, ang isa-share ko muna ngayon is yung mga experiences ko sa sports industry. So, I'd like to start off. Actually, yung pinakaunang experience ko doing sports is back in 2009. Nag-aaral pa ako nun. Rumakit ako noon as an announcer for a table tennis tournament. So, okay naman siya. Nagtatawag-tawag lang ng mga maglalaro. It's set up of multiple tables. So, pag meron isang natapos na laro, tatawagin ko na yung next na maglalaro dun sa specific table na yon. And so on, so on. So, I did that for a couple of years. And since nag-aaral pa nga ako noon, hindi pa ako I can't fully jump to the sports industry. So, fast forward to 2012, I had my first TV experience, which is the 2012 London Olympics. Off-tube lang siya. So, hindi pinakita mukha ko doon. Just became a commentator for several events during the 2012 London Olympics. Then, fast forward again to 3 years, 2015, 3 years later, again, 2015, first TV on-cam experience naman yan. Kita na yung mukha ko sa TV, which is covered for a girls volleyball league that year, which is now known as the Rebisco Volleyball League. Noong 2015 na yun, may buhok pa ako nun. And hanggang ngayon, fast forward to up to 2019, still did that same high school volleyball league for girls. So that was 2015, first on-cam experience. The year 2017 is what I consider as my formal entry to the sports world. Kasi 2017, dun na nag-umpisa yung pagpasok ko sa mga iba't ibang liga, doing several gigs. Actually, primarily, it's announcing. 2017, I started announcing for the PBA D-League. Tapos noon, 2017, I also experienced my first volleyball, beach volleyball. Nag-umpisa actually. That was my first stint sa Philippine Super League or the PSL. Sa beach volleyball ako nag-umpisa. And then, basketball, like I said, the PBA D-League. Pero I jumped into several leagues as well, tulad nung NAASCO. Also did the NCRAA. And several other sports din, mga up and coming basketball leagues dito sa atin. Of course, again, going back sa volleyball, did the Philippine Super League of Beach Volleyball. Doon ako nag-umpisa actually talaga sa volleyball. And then my first indoor volleyball is actually an international event, just the 2017 Asian Senior Women's Volleyball Championship. It was a couple of venues, Binyan and Muntinlupa. Sa Muntinlupa ako na destino. And then also pinch hitted for the PBA on that year. So 2017, like I said, I consider it as my formal entry in sports because of those several leagues that I entered into. Pagdating ng 2018, similar thing, iba't ibang liga rin yung mga pinasukan ko nun. Started with NCAA, also did for did game announcing for NCAA, also did game announcing for UAAP. So unang upo ko yun sa mga major collegiate leagues. Of course, nandun pa rin yung D-League. And then on that year as well, nakasama din ako sa to do TV panel for Spikers Turf, which is the semi-pro men's volleyball tournament in sa Pilipinas. So it was an eventful 2018, and that year was capped off by what I can consider the coolest experience so far in my very young sports announcing career, because in that year I did one game of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers dito sa Pilipinas. It was the Iran game. I was assigned to be the stadium announcer for that game, and it was really cool doing a Gilas Pilipinas game. Doon mo masasabing binigay mo ang lahat para sa bayan. Although Gilas lost that game against Iran, it's unfortunate, pero still it was cool. It was cool to shout during the battle intro, Laban Pilipinas, diba? So that was 2018. 2019, tuloy-tuloy yan, but this time I unti-unti na rin ako pumapasok sa unti-unti na ako pumapasok sa broadcasting, become a broadcaster for the PBA radio. So napapakinggan niyo yan sa radyo. I do play-by-play there, and of course the announcing continues, the game announcing continues. Had several stints sa PBA, and also did pinch hit sa ASEAN Basketball League. So just one time experience that year. Of course, UAAP was there, PSL still there. Like you mentioned earlier, the Rebisco Volleyball League is still there. And another cool experience that year in 2019, where I became an announcer for the Southeast Asian Games for 3 events. 3x3 basketball, did pinch hitting for volleyball, and of course I did a basketball dual role pa yon. I became a game announcer, and for one day I became the hype man during the 2019 SEA Games. And that was 2019 again. In 2020, here we are. Under quarantine tayo lahat. Yun lang. Tablado ang sports, tablado ang lahat ng events, tablado ang game announcing, tablado ang broadcasting. So here we are in this kind of predicament. Okay, since we got it out of the way, allow me to mention to you the thing that I really want to share to you in this series, which is all about announcing. Yes, announcing. The most unnoticed, yet I can say the most essential, or not most, but one of the most essential part of the game. Yep, that is game announcing. Kung ano yung ginagawa namin doon sa harap, sa may table officials, meron mic na nakalagay doon sa harap namin, kung ano-ano yung mga pinagsasasabi namin. That is what I really want to share to you guys dito sa trip sa traffic or sa trip sa quarantine. So, for the next few episodes, I will share to you what we really do in that front test of the front row seats, what I would like to say. What's all about game announcing, how is it done, game announcing, and perhaps I will share how I do it and other people or the legends in this business who did it one time in their lives or one too many times in their lives or are actually continuing to do it. They will share in a way on how they do this. Itong game announcing. I also like to share what you can say the pros and cons of game announcing. Try to differentiate the role of the announcers to the commentators on what they hear on TV and what they hear really in the venue. Also differentiate it. And of course, when you do game announcing, lagi may problema dyan. Okay, it doesn't go really smooth. So, I'd share to you as well the problems that game announcers usually face during the games, before the games, and after the game, and so on. All those kind of stuff. Lahat ng pwedeng aberya na maranasan ng isang game announcer. The reason why I do this is because I think this is a way, or this is one way that I can contribute to the society in this kind of time na naiipit tayo ngayon sa isang bagay na hindi natin gusto, na somehow nahihirapan tayo, hindi tayo makagalaw ng maayos, and we are doing our best to cope up with it, and we are trying to make our time. Naiipit tayo dito sa bahay, wala tayong magawa, hindi natin magawa yung mga pang-araw-araw na yung mga pangkaraniwan na ginagawa natin sa araw-araw. So while we're here, why not take this as an opportunity for you guys to learn what we do here in this thing, in this industry, kung ano talagang ginagawa namin. I'll get to say this over and over again, that game announcers are the ones sitting in the frontest of front rows. Why do I say that? Because wala nakaharang sa'yo between you and the game. There's the game, and there you are, really, in the front row. Ikaw yung pinakauna, ikaw yung pinakaharap, ikaw yung nakakakita nung buong laro. And for me, that is the coolest part of being in this kind of business in this kind of industry. That is the coolest part in what we do. You get to see the action unobstructed. That's the coolest part of it, really. And I've sat on that front row too many times already, and I continue to sit in that front row over and over again, and I intend to sit in that front row over and over and over again. Hindi pa ako magsasawa. Hindi ako magsasawa. And for me, I consider it as a blessing. And sharing what I know, sharing what we know, or teaching you how we do it is perhaps the blessing that I can give back to you. It is the blessing that I can share to others. It's a blessing that I can share to the people we currently teach right now. In actuality, to do this stuff in the games is perhaps the blessing that I can give. It is my way of giving back to the industry that has been really, really good to me. At yun yung masasaksiyan nyo sa mga susunod na episode ng Trip sa Traffic / Trip sa Quarantine. So again, in the next few episodes, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to tell you all about announcing. See you next time.